What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, guys. Your boy Ryan LFC back again, guys. Another top shelf video for you guys today. In this video, going to do something special. The Jamaican fans has been asking for this video. Raheem Sterling versus Leon Bailey. Both of them are very good friend, close friend. Both of them Kingston, Jamaica. Raheem Sterling grew up in Marvally. Leon Bailey coming from out of Cassava Peace. So I want you guys to keep it respectful and give us your honest opinion down in the comment section. Let's go to Conor first. How are you doing today, Conor? Welcome to the channel.
I'm good, mate. How are you? No, I'm doing good. Doing good. I've got the weekend off at work, so I'm off Monday, Tuesday. So happy days. Hope you're well.
I'm doing good, man. Say family and everybody's okay.
Yeah, good, mate. Good, mate. Good, mate. The weather's actually been okay in Scotland. Like, one of the four summer days, the 4 sunny days we get a year. So it's been good.
So how are you doing, my brother?
Good, Ryan. Yeah, similar to Scotland here in Ireland. It's nice enough out. It has been the last few days, and I've a couple of days myself off work. So yeah, so far so good, and it's badly needed. So I'm looking forward to this, and hopefully the game today goes ahead as well.
So how is the family doing?
Yeah, good. It's not bad now at the moment. So but we'll just wait and see how it goes, But it's yeah, it's quiet enough from my end at the moment.
Great. On my end, the winter, the weather outside is very good at this moment.
Yeah,
So not too
no
cold in
snow.
Canada. No snow, no snow. Last month we have snow, so hope this
Mm.
month we don't have any snow and I can go outside go do some more exercise.
Brilliant.
So let's go for this intro and come back, guys. Let's go for this and come back.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Ryan FC, we are back. But let's go for Conrad. You're repping for Raheem Sterling. What do you have in package to tell us about Raheem Sterling?
Oh,
Do you
I
think?
don't, I don't, I don't know if the viewers are going to like this because listen, I'm going to first say this. I am not Sterling's biggest fan, but I've got to give credit where credit's due, and I feel like I don't know if I'm just going to kick off with this point. There's a lot of Liverpool listeners, Ryan, and I would say that the reason Sterling is on a different level is the same reason Liverpool fans love Salah. Is he's not technically this unbelievable finisher, but he's effective. And the proof is in the pudding when it comes to Raheem Sterling. He's not a great finisher, but his movement, for being such an average finisher, the amount of goals he gets because his movement, the stats don't lie. And I'm not a big stats merchant, but it's actually, I think there's I'm not saying there's a golf, but I think there's 3 years age difference. Sterling's on a different level. Uh, just going to start with that. I know Leon Bailey's you can maybe argue he's technically a better player, but football's not about YouTube videos or technical brilliance. It's about
Yeah.
effectiveness. And Raheem Sterling is just far more effective. And there is 3 years between them. And you could argue he's at Man City. I agree with that. But when you actually break it down and look into the numbers, I think it would shock you how good Raheem Sterling's numbers are. Because I've never actually done it myself before. Do you know Raheem Sterling's 5 goals off being in the 100 club in the Premier League? He's 5 goals off scoring 100 Premier League goals. And I'm not, obviously Bailey's not in the Premier League, but I'm not going to give all my stats away now. But for me, he's effective, and that's what football's about. If it was about YouTube videos and how technically good you are, Eden Hazard would be the best player in the world. Also injured, but that's not how it works. It's about effectiveness. There's a reason people want Mo Salah. The reason people keep telling us when we're watching Mo Salah or Joe, shout out to Joe, gets annoyed with him because he can't finish all the time, but he's effective, and that's just
Yeah.
how it works. I think the overall
You have to
thing, mate,
accept it.
is that's effectiveness is football nowadays. Do you know what I mean? Like, people would probably say, I had an interesting debate about Pogba and De Bruyne. You probably look at Pogba's ability and you think this guy should be a world beater, and you maybe look at De Bruyne a couple of years ago and think, yes, he's amazing, but he's not at that level. But he's developed his game to get to that level. And when it comes to effectiveness, 20 goals, 20 assists last season with De Bruyne, it's about what you do. It's not about your highlight reel on YouTube, and that's why I think Sterling's just a different level. So that's me for my first point.
No,
anyway.
spot on, Conroy. I think the only thing that Bailey at the moment has over Raheem is technical ability. I think technically he might be better, but again, we won't know until he is playing at a better level. Leverkusen this season's not being great. Look, he's not as clinical either as Raheem Sterling. I'm not saying Raheem is clinical. We know Sterling as well missed a lot of chances, but it is what it is with him. The last 2 seasons, they both haven't had a lot of goals, a lot of assists, but they've done great work. And look, Bailey is still young. He needs a big move, I think, possibly Premier League, one of the top 6. There's probably no better league at the moment than the Premier League. When you look around other leagues, that there's not that competitiveness or recognition as what there is in the Premier League. And I think Bailey, look, he's potentially can be a world-class player. Very strong, physical, gets goals. We've seen some of his, obviously, his YouTube reels as well, but that doesn't mean nothing. But technical ability is one thing, and you just have to look at Jordan Henderson. Then you have the other side about developing your game and attitude and discipline and working hard and doing some of the stuff that's not so nice to do. A lot of the donkey work, let's call it, as we say here. So it's look, Bailey, no doubt about it, potential is there to be world class. He's already has some international experience, but it doesn't come near what Sterling has in terms of his Champions League experience, winning the Premier League. This is going to be his 3rd title now at City, possibly a Champions League as well. And then he's a lot of experience playing at World Cups, European Championships for England, where Bailey doesn't have that. But look, if you had Bailey in City, we might be having a different conversation between them. But there's no doubt about it, Sterling has been, like, he's only 26, 27 now. You could say he's in the peak of his career, and that's mad to say because it feels like he's been around a lifetime so far. But Bailey starting off, he's still young, has a lot to offer. I think he will get better, and he will make a big move, I think, sooner rather than later to one of the big clubs. And then that's where the real questions will come in then as to what he can do and how good he is. But so far, so good from him. There's no doubt about it. I know there was links with him going to United before, and it might have been even to Arsenal. So they'd be big moves for him, and that's where it become really competitive and where you could have probably more of a say between them. But they're both similar enough players, I suppose, in the position to play in. But there's at the moment you would have to say Sterling has it, Ryan and Conroy. I think I agree with you, Conroy. His experience and it speaks for itself, doesn't it, at the moment. But the only thing I would say is there's 3 years between them. It's not a lot, but Bailey starting off and Sterling is already kind of, as I said, it's like he's around a lifetime. It's hard to think how young he still is.
Yeah, I think the Man City move is crucial. Like I agree with what you're saying with Bailey, right? There's so many wingers like Bailey, right, who their game. Football's evolved in the sense of Ian Robin at Chelsea used to cut in and they maybe get 5 goals a season, 10 assists or whatever. But football's changed now. Your wing forwards are expected to get more. And Raheem Sterling, being a Liverpool fan, I can assure you, his development there's no way that player was ever close to getting to that level at Liverpool. If he'd stayed at Liverpool, we would never got to that level. Guardiola's got a huge say in his movement.
Yeah.
Raheem Sterling's biggest quality, because if you watch him, he's probably even more frustrating than Salah. Cuts, hits the defender, can't shoot a goal. But his movement is so good that he might do that 3 times a game. But people call him a tapping merchant, but he actually gets so many goals. The guy is a bang average finisher, but his movement is so good that it's not hard to finish, if you know what I mean. And he still misses it sometimes, but because his movement is good, and it doesn't even matter if you're in a team like Man City. I used to say a Bailey or a Zaha could do the same thing, but when you actually look at the numbers, movement is a lot. Like patterns of play, with City's patterns of play on the edge of the box with the movement to lay it across to score a tap in, they've scored about hundreds of goals like that in that team. And I feel like City's Raheem Sterling is justified in moving to Manchester City 100%, because he would not be the standard of player if he didn't do that. Because I've never thought technically he's ever been an incredible player. He's very good at running and dribbling, but he's also one-on-one. You could find a few defenders who he wouldn't get the better than, because he's not like you could probably argue Leon Bailey's probably got more in his locker, like a bit like I call a proper dribbler in the Premier League is like Robin at Chelsea. That was like next level. Or
phenomenal,
you could plenty like that. But Sterling's not like that. It's a bit like Salah. Like people try to
Yeah,
tell me Mo Salah is unbelievable at beating players one-on-one. No, he's not. You watch the Roma highlights and you see he does it a few times. He does it in maybe 3-4 games a season. Mo Salah's biggest quality is his movement because he's always looking for the ball in behind. And I feel like football's changed, and I feel like Sterling's movement is his biggest quality. I actually read an article and it said the fact that people criticise his finishing, he's scored, guys, 136 goals in his career, and he's got
yeah,
111 assists, right? He is a bang average finisher. That's how good his movement is. He's got 136 goals. That is ridiculous.
yeah.
I
It's
couldn't believe
crazy.
that. That's ridiculous. And we
But
talk, I'm not going to get into it. Sorry, Daz, on you go, mate.
no, I think as well he's improved off the ball as well for City since Pep has come in, particularly. So
Yeah,
we know the importance
good point.
nowadays. It's all well and good being on the ball and being creative and flair, assists and goals, but it's the work rate off it. And Liverpool and City, particularly in the last few seasons, being really good at that. Players have been they've kind of went under the radar a bit with the work rate they've done and like you talked about Salah against Roma, but some of the stuff he done when he hadn't got the ball to get himself in those positions and
That's
the
what I
work
mean.
rate.
That's what I mean. People try
Yeah,
to say
it's brilliant.
that's his biggest quality. Like I think
Yeah,
shout out to Safe, another Liverpool fan. I'm shouting them all out.
yeah,
When you say you're at Anfield and you actually watch Salah for a full game, it's just a case of he's all like the Newcastle miss, for example. That's because he's always ready on that halfway line, trying to get in behind, and that's it's not exactly the same with Raheem Sterling. It's more about when the ball's at the other side, where he goes, and maybe through balls as well. I just think I'll give you a stat here, guys. Right, this is going to blow your. If you didn't know this before, I couldn't believe this. Right, in the last 3 seasons, now I'm not going to have a dig at Leon Bailey's potential. Spoke about that, but I'd say Leon Bailey is a good winger right now, and this is a good winger stats. So Leon Bailey's had, I think this is his best season so far. He's had 15 goals and 11 assists. Raheem Sterling would all say he's not had a great season. Raheem Sterling has got 13 goals and 11 assists. So he's only 2 goals off the same
yeah,
stats, right? And Raheem Sterling's apparently having a poor season. Sterling the season before, 31 goals, 10 assists. Before that, 25 goals, 18 assists. So I think there's another one in there as well. And in those 3 seasons, it was 17 goals in the Premier League, 18 goals in the Premier League, and then 20 goals in the Premier League. Fun fact, Eden Hazard's never scored 20 goals in the Premier League as well, and
yeah,
we lured him. So I just think Sterling's numbers are ridiculous. I'd say Leon Bailey's a very good winger, but you can tell for him to get to Sterling's level, he's going to have to pick the right team with the right manager, because it's not just
yeah,
about beating players now. Your movement has got to be amazing. Your intelligence has got to be better. You can't just get away with cutting in and beating a man and shooting anymore. You have to, and don't get me wrong, his stats are still very good this season. But if you look back at Sterling, like 31 goals, 10 assists, 25 goals, 18 assists. That's next level. You have to improve
yeah. It's
everything in your
phenomenal.
game to get to that. And that there's consistency there. And let's be honest, he's a bang average finisher. So for him to get those numbers, he can, as Daz says, he can probably get better. He
Yeah,
definitely can get better, because if he makes himself just a good finisher, he'll
yeah.
probably double that.
And he's also winning the honours as well there, and he's competing at the
Yeah.
very best, highest level. So
Yeah,
that's something that
it's a
Bailey will
hard
have
one,
to
that
do.
one, isn't it?
And
Because
now it
City
is,
are
yeah,
like a juggernaut, aren't they? You're going to
yeah,
get more trophies. Like Mendy's a very average left
yeah,
back, but he's
yeah,
maybe won
yeah,
4 trophies. Let's be honest, that's maybe something we won't get into now. But 60 million
yeah.
for Mendy is horrendous.
Crazy, yeah,
That's
Okay,
Rodri
yeah,
60 million
60
as well.
million.
I think that's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
I listen
Oh,
to both of you guys.
sorry, Ryan.
Point.
yeah,
I listen to both of you guys. Point, but I am going to come with something different on the board. I am the host, but I want to get in this debate just a little bit. I respect Raheem Sterling. I respect both of you guys' point. I respect Sterling for score over 100 hard goal in England. First and foremost, that's difficult. That difficult to get so much goal. And probably he have over 100 goal for Manchester City. Yes.
136, 130, 113 goals for Man City.
Okay. So you cannot underestimate that.
No.
He's an excellent player. But it's a
He's an
Leon
effective player. He's an effective player. Doesn't mean he's
effective
excellent
player.
technically.
Okay. You see, Leon Bailey, I think Leon Bailey is a much better footballer than Raheem Sterling. I am going to say this just a second.
No, sorry,
Raheem
it's not.
Sterling, Raheem Sterling playing at Manchester City. You think if Raheem Sterling playing that Liverpool team him get so much goal? No,
No,
you have
no.
Kevin De Bruyne. You have a lot of superstar around you, right?
Yeah, but he's also got 111 assists as well, though, Ryan.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, but because the team set up for Raheem Sterling to do well. Let's be honest. The team set up for Raheem Sterling to do well. And we have to give him credit. Pep Guardiola get the best out of it. But what I'm saying, technically gifted. When you look
But
at
that's not football anymore, though. Technically
when
gifted
it,
doesn't mean you're.
when you look at Leon Bailey, he have a better free kick. He can impact the game more than
But
Raheem
no, but
Sterling.
the stats
He,
don't show that, though,
he
Ryan.
control
Raheem
he
Sterling
control.
has.
Yeah, but sometimes as his stats, it can really kind of
No,
show.
I'm not a stats merchant, mate. But those numbers are next level. Like I don't know if like you can't argue those numbers. That's
I
double, triple the
I
numbers.
I
Yeah.
understand the numbers. I understand the number, but a one-on-one player, a
No,
one
I
on
agree, mate, but it's not freestyle. It's not a YouTube. Football's not like that anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like, if that's the case, then Mo
Yeah.
Salah wouldn't get in a winger for any team because he's not the best at beating someone one-on-one. I agree. Football's changed, mate. Like, a YouTube reel, if you watch YouTube, Neymar's the best player who ever lived, right? But that's not football. Football's not
Mm.
about that. And I do like Leon Bailey, and I do get the controlling thing. So, like, maybe he can run a game more than Sterling. I 100% agree. But
but
Raheem
look
Sterling's about
but
being
look at the
effective.
attribute. I understand Conor, but look at the attribute Leon Bailey have. He have everything when you look at him individual as a
Mm.
player. He first touch much better. He can impact the game much better. He can
Probably got a
kick
better
free.
first touch than Mo
He's a
Salah.
he's a better
Yeah.
dead ball specialist. He kick everything for Leverkusen, free kick, everything for
Yeah.
Leverkusen.
I think he
If
shows more leadership, Ryan, as well. But
yeah,
I think the
But you don't
question
have to
is,
be a leader to be
he has
effective, though.
to.
This is the
Yeah.
thing.
I think that's the thing as well. But as well as that is, I think you would have a better argument if he was at one of the top clubs as well, competing with City. I think that's where it will come in, because I think it is one thing doing it at Leverkusen, but going to do it at City consistently in season after season is another. But it doesn't take away how good he is, and it doesn't take away what you're saying, that I understand when he has the ball in a dead ball situation or one-on-one with a player, he's very
Yeah.
good, he's strength,
I
he's
think there's
strong,
lots of
all
wingers
that.
like that, though, Darren.
Yeah,
There's lots of
yeah.
wingers who look
Pulisic is a bit like that as
amazing,
well.
but listen, Ryan. I used to agree with this. The reason I've changed my tune is the reason Mo Salah is one of the most prestigious wingers in football. Is effectiveness is better than looking good, because it's about being effective. Like I don't
Yeah,
know if Darren, you can name 5 wingers right now who maybe can control a game. I think Pulisic is ridiculous, to be honest, but like there's plenty. See Leon Bailey. He's very good, Ryan, and I think he will make it to the next level. But there's been wingers like that in the past who haven't made it to the next level, and I'm not downing him, because like he's still doing a very good level. I mean, 15 assists, 15 goals and 11
yeah,
assists in Bundesliga is tremendous. I just think like we see, because Raheem Sterling's English, plays in England. English media love to drag him down. They should really be celebrating him, a bit like how Egyptian fans celebrate Mo Salah.
no, yeah,
Mo Salah misses 5 open goals a season, and I don't hear them, turning on him, or Liverpool fans don't turn on him. But like Sterling, it seems to be Sterling scored 20 goals. I think he got Football Writers Player of the Year, and then it was like, I might be wrong. Actually, this might be wrong. It was the year before, but he scored 20 goals last season, and the first thing they said is, "Oh, he missed that open goal against Leon," and it's like,
yeah, yeah.
he scored 20 Premier League goals. Eden Hazard's
But
never managed that, and it's like,
and it's similar to Salah. Like, he'll miss the chances that he should be taken away, and then will score this
because they're
unbelievable
not
goals where he's
great
not right to
finishers.
score.
They're not
Yeah,
great finishers.
but as you said, it's about effectiveness, and that's what it's all going to get down to: how effective you
Yeah.
are, what the honours are, what you're winning, and how well you're doing. It's
Yeah.
not.
I do
I
get what
look,
Ryan's saying, though. Like, see, I
yeah,
do
yeah,
understand that argument about like
that
you
they're not
look
as
at a player,
clinical.
but I don't. I think movement. If you're like, so say I play football, and I'm not comparing the levels, and so I know Ryan's played in goals as well. But see if you're like, football to me used to be like a winger's one-on-one, gets him to the byline, crosses it in.
Yeah,
But now it's like
gigs and
now it's to kill teams. Now it's to
yeah,
pen them in, and the movement's that good that you get a chance. You can't miss, literally, because Sterling probably would miss it if he could, right? and he scored 136 goals for being the most average finisher who's ever lived. I just think movement's different nowadays, and you could argue if a Bailey went to City, but I think Sterling might be so effective because he isn't a great footballer, he isn't technically amazing, so he knows he needs to work harder on his movement in his game, whereas maybe other footballers, they feel like they don't. And I'm not saying Leon Bailey's that case, but I think there's several wingers out there who've never. Sterling's movement in numbers is actually, it's maybe you could argue it's because of Guardiola, but when I tell you those numbers, he'll be 27 and he'll score 100 Premier League goals. That's unbelievable.
Before he's 30, and the way players are going now, like he's easily another 5, 6, even 7 seasons left at the top level.
And if that's the case with City, should the other wingers not be getting the same numbers? And you know what, I'll be honest, I've not had a chance to look exactly into those numbers, but I don't think they're on the same trajectory of getting 100 Premier League goals yet.
No.
I mean, Sané was unlucky with injury, don't get me wrong, but I thought Sané for me is what I'd call an unbelievable winger. But he's still not had the same effect on the team.
No, he hasn't got the goals.
If I'm telling you, if Leon Bailey playing on a Pep Guardiola in this Manchester City team, Leon Bailey challenged for that Ballon d'Or. He named up there every single season.
But see, I don't think Guardiola ever has a player who challenges for a Ballon d'Or anymore, in the sense of he's had Messi, but De Bruyne is not going to win the Ballon d'Or, and he's probably the star of that team. But they beat PSG because they play like a team.
It's more about team than individual.
Ballon d'Or should go to.
No, but I get what you're saying, Ryan, but I think it's easy to say, because I used to say it like a Zaha could go to City and get the same numbers, but when you actually look at the numbers and the movement, it's hard to. Some wingers are good at beating players one-on-one, but they're not got the football intelligence. He's obviously got the football intelligence.
And it's not about just the technical side of it. It is the discipline. It is putting that hard work in. It's the training all the time. It's the turning up, the attitude, the willingness to win and trying to be effective. And a lot of it is mentality as well. And I think that's something that Sterling has shown. And he's done it consistently. And that's why he's still doing what he's doing. And that's such, even a young age now, you could say he's in the peak of his career, but it's like he's played a lifetime ago, as you said, the stats and how long he's been around. Even at the early days at Liverpool, the 13, 14 season, what he's done. So it'll be just interesting to see how effective Bailey would be at a different level. But at the moment, it's so far so good from him. But
would you move him now, Ryan? So see what I would say. See Bailey. Now I've looked a bit into Bailey. See this is his best season by far, numbers wise, because he's not had poor seasons. He's had winger stats that 10 years ago was good or great, but it's not great anymore. You need to be like to be world class or top level. You need to be like, it's probably from Mane, Salah, and then the wing forward role. It's like really pushed in the goals. But this season, 15 goals and 11 assists. The iron's hot for Leon Bailey right now, Ryan. So where would you go? Don't go to Arsenal. That would not be a good move for him, because he'd have to be more relied on. Arsenal are relying on an 18-year-old and Bukayo Saka right now to be their main man. It's like, you want to go somewhere. I think Sterling does well because he doesn't have to win every game himself. He can just be a part of the system, and it works. It works. Whereas if you want to be the main man at Arsenal, you're just having to carry players, and that doesn't work for me.
Does Liverpool work for him, Ryan?
Listen, no, I don't want him to Liverpool. Why? I would love to see a Jamaican come play for Liverpool, but I'll be honest with you, I want to see Manchester City. I think Pep Guardiola type of football. I think he very similar like Leroy Sané. Trust me, I think
he'd evolve. What do you think on that?
I think him and Leroy Sané play similar. They have some very decent touch. They have the skill. They have the pattern. Everything. I think.
But who's still there? Who's still there? Sterling or Sané? Do you know what I mean? That's the thing. Sterling managed that battle, and Sterling kept getting played ahead.
I think Leon Bailey better than Ryan Mahrez, and I think him better than Sterling.
Mahrez, he's not better than Mahrez right now, Ryan. Mahrez is ridiculous right now. He's arrogant. He's arrogant. So Mahrez. I do not like him as a person. I don't think he's a nice person at all. But he's a good football player.
I know, but if Leon Bailey go to City, that's position him going to take Mahrez's position.
He's probably stronger than Mahrez, because the thing with Mahrez is the only thing that annoys me is he's thin as anything. I'm not saying that matters, but like, first half against PSG, I thought he was average, so predictable against a he was predictable. So honestly, oh, you cutting in? I didn't see that coming. But Man City are so good at winding teams down that he just needs that one time and he'll score. So I've got to be fair to Mahrez. He's the most predictable player ever, a bit like Robin. But if you're that good at it, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you'll get away with it. Yeah, yeah. You're just gonna get goals and
at this
cause
time
problems.
the number that Ian Robin get for
Yeah.
Bayern Munich. That's
Actually,
the
I take
same
that
number.
back. He's not that predictable because he does go into his right. I just mean it's like
No. I'm saying
sometimes it's annoying.
the number, the same number that
Yeah.
Leon Bailey getting, that's the number that Robin get a season for Bayern Munich. That's
Yeah,
the same
but
number.
I think it's changed though, mate. Because I think like I would say 5 years. No, I'd say 5 years ago, maybe 10.
Bayern Munich want Raheem Sterling. Bayern Munich want Leon Bailey to replace Ian Robin a couple years ago,
Yeah.
and Schalke.
But
Liverpool
with that
used to
style,
say-
Ryan, it's give the winger the ball, beat the man, cross it in, cut and have a shot. Whereas Man City are destroying the world right now because that's not their game plan. It's pass, break the team down, pen them back, pass the ball across, tapping, 4-0 up. Whereas you play Bayern's way and it's like that can be ineffective sometimes. And that's why City are destroying teams. That I think it comes down to systems are more important than stars now. 100%.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, systems and work rate.
PSG showed that. I mean, De Bruyne, Ryan, you're right. De Bruyne was ridiculous, but Neymar and Mbappe, when it got hard, where were they? Where did they turn up? I don't think they turned up. Do you know what I mean? That's what I mean. It's about systems, and I'm not saying systems are everything. Obviously, you can improve your best
It sets
players.
up an unbelievable second leg, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think City will win 3-0, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, unless
PSG, usual.
Yeah, usual. Yeah, exactly.
Usual. Hey, we talk about City getting labelled as bottlers. PSG every year, man. Kylian Mbappe, best young talent, one-on-one with Neuer, bottled it. No one talks about that, though.
No,
that annoys me as well, eh?
He's
Can't talk about that because he's good as Messi, apparently.
Yeah.
Of course he is. So is Oliver Giroud, mate. So is Hugo Lloris. So is Adel Rami. Give it, honestly, talk to me. Get a rest. I'm only joking. I do love Mbappe.
Yeah, no, yeah, of course, definitely. But he's definitely there's a hype around him, all right, because he's young, he's French.
Greatest player ever.
It's from the media.
Yeah. Greatest player, scored 22 goals this season, 8 assists at 34-year-old. But they're trying to compare a guy who scored 100 goals in the Liga. Get out of here. I don't want to hear it, honestly. Sick of it. Try it. People just want agendas. So, no, but Ryan, sorry, mate. I'm going on a rant. Let's not talk about Messi because you know how much Daz knows how much I love Messi. But Leon Bailey, do you know what? As a controller, I hear what you're saying, Ryan. I feel like he might have more to his game than just a normal winger or a good winger. Like, I feel like, do you think he could move position?
Yeah.
Be a number 10.
He have everything. He can play as a number 10. He play number 10 for Jamaica.
Yeah.
He be that.
I think that City move would be good, mate. The only thing is, they've just bought Ferran Torres, and to be honest, the guy is so disappointing. That guy is so disappointing.
But the league demanding, man. Premier League demanding.
No, but I know. But what I'm saying is, see, because they've just signed Torres, and then you've got Mahrez, Sterling, and Bernardo Silva as well. I just feel like they might not sign that.
Too many of them type of players.
But Bailey, do you know what? I would take Bailey because I'm looking at his numbers because I had a wee bit, and I think Bailey is a bit like a Mane. Or even look at a Jota a bit. He could progress. He could step up. I'm not saying he's not at a good level, but to scoring more goals, I think he could fit Liverpool. I know you're saying he shouldn't come, but now we've spoken about this, Ryan. I think he'd be a good signing, mate. I think he'd be good.
That's why I asked. That's why I asked. I think he would be too. Yeah, I think so for Liverpool.
23, he's younger than I thought he was. I thought he was 25, mate. 23. They're good numbers.
Only 23,
54 goals, 47 assists for a 23-year-old. That's big numbers. That's big career numbers.
He's making assists now. He's making more assists now, isn't he? Running for Jamaica as well. So
yeah, but the thing, the reason why I said it is more difficult for him to come to Liverpool. Liverpool want at least 80 million for him.
80. He's valued at 30 million transfer market, Ryan. 80.
Yeah. I'm seeing that myself. Come on, yeah.
30 million a joke money for Rhymes.
No, I'm not saying you're getting fair. What I mean, mate, is like he's valued at that. I think with the contract, the years he's got in his contract. So what I mean is 80. I
It's
mean,
huge money.
I think Liverpool, Ryan, it's quite funny because I've not thought about Bailey, but with the research I've done for this, I'm actually thinking if you could make a bid of 50 million to Leverkusen or 45 million, I think Liverpool could get Bailey at 50 million, 23 years old. I think it's do you think it's a no-brainer, Daz? 23
Yeah, I
years
do.
old.
I'd love a Pulisic or a Bailey, yeah. And I've done a little bit of research on Bailey. I've watched a bit of him late, and he's very, very good,
He's
very quick,
progressing. He's
strong.
getting better.
He's
He's on that
progressing, he is.
trajectory right
And
now.
if he came to Liverpool, he would evolve. He'd get that game time, and he would be
He'd get the
competing for.
chances as well. He would get
Yeah,
chances to
yeah,
score, and I
yeah.
feel like he's Liverpool's front three. I think we can all agree. No one's like
It's over now
amazing
for the front
clinical.
three.
No, yeah, no
Yeah,
one's like an amazing clinical finisher. But see, if you look at like a Mane at Southampton, right? That to me is the best Liverpool get for that a wing forward. You're
yeah.
not an amazing finisher, but you've got the potential to go to that next level because you'll get more chances. Like Jota, Jota is probably the most clinical because he did play as a kind of behind the striker sometimes. But I like Bailey, Ryan. I think 23 years old. I was shocked because I felt like he's been playing for about 8 years. This guy, but I think he'd be a good signing for Liverpool. I really do,
Yeah,
mate.
he's only a young lad for 23, and I think he's only went 23, so there's a lot left to him, but he needs to make that next big move, I think, and
It
hopefully he
will.
evolves then. Yeah.
It will. You know,
Listen, Ryan, I have to go.
yeah,
Conroy,
yeah.
I have to go.
No,
It's good
wrapping
chatting
up.
to you,
No,
lads.
Is
wrapping
the
up.
game going ahead, mate?
It's
No,
delayed, it says.
wrapping
Delay.
up. No, wrapping
Yeah.
up. No.
But I'm
So,
going to wrap
uh,
up, lads, but
yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I appreciate you guys
Cheers,
thanks,
coming.
guys.
Conroy.
Thanks.
Thanks, Ryan.
Love that debate, guys. Cheers.
Yeah,
But
it's great. We get more of them, lads.
make sure you guys put it down in the comment section. Who do you guys prefer, Leon Bailey or the best friend, Rhyme Sterling? Until next time, I'm a boy Ryan LFC. I like to say peace out. Thanks for watching.
Bye, guys.
Cheers, all.